The whistle hasn't even blown, but the game is already being decided. It's being decided at 5 a.m. when the alarm screams and the world is dark and cold. It's being decided on the days when no one is watching, when the cameras are off and the crowds are absent. It's being decided in the quiet, lonely choices between what you want now and what you want most. And that right there is the unbreakable, unforgiving, and utterly beautiful truth. Only the disciplined win this game. I want you to sit with that sentence for a moment. Let it settle into your bones. Only the disciplined win this game. Not the talented, not the gifted, not the lucky, not the well-connected, not the ones who once showed promise, not the ones who have a great plan, not the ones who talk a big game, the discipline. Because the world is not a sprint. It is a marathon of marathons, and in a marathon, raw speed means nothing if you cannot endure the distance. Talent is the spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark has faded. We live in an age of distraction, an age of instant gratification, an age where we are constantly seduced by the illusion of overnight success. We see the highlight reel on social media, the trophy lift, the promotion announcement, the finished masterpiece, the physique transformation. And we think, I want that. So we buy the course, we download the app, we make the vision board, we write the New Year's resolution. And for a week, maybe 2, we are on fire. We are motivated. We are driven. We are undisciplined. Because motivation is a drug. And like all drugs, the high always wears off. What happens on day 31? What happens when it's raining outside? What happens when you're tired? What happens when you fail? What happens when you face the first real gut-wrenching, soul-crushing obstacle? That is the moment when the crowd thins out. That is the moment when the pretenders go home. And that is the moment when the disciplined step forward, not because they are superhuman, not because they don't feel the pain, the boredom, or the fear. They step forward because they have built a system stronger than their feelings. They have understood a fundamental law of the universe. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Let's define what discipline actually is, because I think we get it wrong. We think discipline is punishment. We think it's a grim, joyless soldier marching toward a gray future. We think it's about saying a no to everything fun. That is a lie. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. Discipline is the parent of freedom. True freedom is not having infinite choices. True freedom is having the power to choose the one thing that matters and sticking to it until it surrenders. A river without banks is not a powerful force. It's just a flood, a swamp, a mess. It goes nowhere, it has no power. But put that same water between disciplined banks, and it can cut through mountains, power cities, and irrigate nations. Your discipline is your bank. It channels your energy. Without it, you are not free. You are just scattered. Think about the greatest winners in any field at all. Sports, business, science, art, military, teaching, parenting. Look beneath the surface of their success. You will not find a secret formula. You will find a routine. You will find a set of non-negotiable actions performed daily, regardless of mood. You think Mozart just sat down and genius poured out? No, he practiced for 10,000 hours before he composed his first masterpiece. You think Michael Jordan just floated to the basket? He was cut from his high school team. And what did he do? Did he complain? Did he blame the coach? No, he showed up at 6 a.m. before school to practice. He built the discipline of a killer. He famously said, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. The failure wasn't the magic. The getting back up on a schedule, without emotion, without asking for applause, that was the magic. That was discipline. Consider the athlete training for the Olympics. For 4 years, they wake up in the dark, they eat the same bland, optimized food. They go to the gym when their body screams for rest. They go to the track when their lungs are on fire. They miss parties, they miss funerals, they miss birthdays. And for what? For a 10-second race, for a 2-minute routine, for a single moment that might end in a slip, a crank, or a judge's error. The undisciplined person says, that's insane. That's not worth it. And they are right if you are measuring only the outcome. But the disciplined person knows a deeper truth. The game is not the 10 seconds on the podium. The game is the 4 years of dawns. The game is the transformation of the self. The medal is just the receipt. The real win is becoming the person who can earn the medal. And this applies to you, right here, right now. It doesn't matter if you are a student, an entrepreneur, a nurse, a construction worker, a writer, or a stay-at-home parent. The game you are playing is the game of your life. And the opponent is not the person next to you. The opponent is your own weakness. The opponent is the voice that says, just this once. The opponent is the snooze button. The opponent is the scroll. The opponent is the rationalization that you'll start on Monday after the holidays when you feel more like it. The disciplined person knows that a feeling like it is a trap. Feelings are fickle. Feelings are weather. You don't build a skyscraper based on the weather. You build a foundation. You build a structure. You build something that stands regardless of the storm. The disciplined person has a schedule, not a wish list. They have a system for when they are sick, for when they are sad, for when they are sad, for when they are exhausted. Not a system that crumbles, but a system that scales down. If you cannot do the full workout, you do 10 minutes. If you cannot write 5 pages, you write 1 paragraph. If you cannot save $1,000, you save 5. The disciplined person does not believe in 0 days because 0 days are the enemy. 0 days are the cracks in the dam. And eventually, enough 0 days create a flood of regret. I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, but what about passion? What about spontaneity? What about joy? I hear you. And I tell you that discipline is the gateway to the deepest joy. The undisciplined person lives a life of constant low-grade anxiety. They are always behind, always scrambling, always apologizing, always starting and stopping. Their joy is shallow because it is unearned. But the disciplined person, they have a deep, quiet, unshakable peace. They go to bed tired, but not guilty. They wake up not with dread, but with a sense of purpose. When they rest, they truly rest because they have earned it. When they play, they truly play because the work is done. The undisciplined person procrastinates and then calls it relaxation, but it's not. It's a prison. The disciplined person knows that the hardest part of any task is the first 3 minutes. Just start, just do the thing, and then the momentum carries you. Let's talk about the practical mechanics of discipline, because knowing it's important isn't enough. How do you become disciplined? Not in a week, not in a month, but for a lifetime. First, you must kill the romance with the motivation. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. You need to build a home for discipline. That home is called a routine. You do not ask yourself every morning if you feel like brushing your teeth. You just do it. It's automatic. It's non-negotiable. The most disciplined people have made their most important actions as automatic as breathing. They don't debate. They don't negotiate with terrorists. And the terrorist is their own mind. They have a rule. They know that the game is not decided by one mistake. The game is decided by who makes the fewest mistakes and who recovers from them the fastest. I want to talk about the cost of indiscipline because it's a cost we often hide from ourselves. The cost is not just that you don't reach your goal. Reach your goal. The cost is who you become in the process. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you break a promise to yourself, you are carving a narrow pathway. You are training yourself to be unreliable. You are telling your own subconscious mind, my word means nothing. And that erosion of self-trust is a poison. It seeps into everything. You stop believing you can change. You stop believing you can finish. You stop believing you can be the person you dreamed of being. That's the real loss. Not the missed promotion, not the unfinished novel, not the extra 20 pounds. The real loss is the quiet, soul-deep resignation that you are not the captain of your own ship. You are just a passenger blown around by the winds of whim and comfort. Discipline, on the other hand, is an act of self-respect. When you do what you said you would do, when you honor your own commitments, you build a relationship with yourself based on trust and admiration. You become someone you are proud of. You become someone who can handle pressure. You become someone who others can count on because you have proven to yourself that you can count on you. And that changes everything. That changes your posture. That changes your voice. That changes the energy you carry into a room. People can smell discipline. It is a magnetic field. Let me give you a final powerful analogy. Imagine 2 farmers, both have the same piece of land, both have the same seeds, both have the same weather forecast. Farmer A is talented. He is passionate. He has a great vision for his harvest. but he only works when he feels inspired. He plants seeds when the sun is shining and he's in a good mood. When a drought comes, he sits in his house and complains. When weeds appear, he says, I'll deal with it tomorrow. When it's time to water, he remembers he'd rather watch a movie. Farmer relies on talent and hope. Farmer B is disciplined. He doesn't care about his mood. He waters when the schedule says water, even if he's tired. He pulls weeds every morning, even the tiny ones. He works through the heat, through the boredom, through the loneliness. He is not a genius. He is just consistent. At the end of the season, who has the harvest? There is no contest. Farmer A has a field of regrets. Farmer B has a barn full of grain. The game of life is that field. And the harvest is not luck. It is not magic. It is the sum total of thousands of small disciplined choices. The choice to wake up. The choice to start. The choice to continue. The choice to resist the distraction. The choice to do the hard thing first. The choice to forgive, affair, and move on. The choice to do it again tomorrow and again and again. So I ask you, standing here in the middle of your own precious finite life, what game are you playing? Are you playing a game of convenience? The game of excuses? The game of tomorrow? Or are you playing the game that only the disciplined win? Are you willing to pay the price of admission? The price is not money. It is not luck. It is not privilege. The price is your willingness to be boring, your willingness to be tired, your willingness to be the one who keeps going when everyone else has quit. The price is your ego, your comfort, and your excuses. But the prize is everything. The prize is the life you have secretly wanted. The prize is the body that doesn't ache with regret. The prize is the bank account that reflects patience. The prize is the skill that feels like a superpower. The prize is the respect of people who matter. The prize is the look in your own eyes in the mirror when you know deep down that you gave it everything you had. The prize is freedom. The prize is the quiet, unshakable knowledge that when the final whistle blows, you will not be looking back. You will be looking for only the disciplined win this game. Not the talented, not the lucky, the disciplined, the ones who show up, the ones who do the work, the ones who never ever break the chain. Be that person. Start now, not tomorrow. Not after you finish this sentence in your head. Now, your game is waiting. Go win it.